Hello everybody, welcome to the United Stand. Erik ten Hag, new contract confirmed. It's breaking news. It's probably a bit slow sports news. I don't think anybody's going to be surprised about it. But I wanted to mark this moment for all of those people that wanted this to happen, including myself. We went through that painful 3 weeks, didn't we, where he was going to get sacked. You know, certain elements of the media were getting very excited about it. And we got that news that they'd flown to Ibiza and said he was staying. We also got all this nonsense from so-called experts that he wouldn't have any say in transfers. There'd be a break clause that he could get sacked for Christmas to bring Southgate in. It would only be an extension of 1 year. It's not. It's a long-term contract with a commitment from an ownership to provide the structure above this manager for the first time in 10 years and give the fans, the manager and the club a real vision that we can get behind. And most importantly of all, I think the reason many of us didn't want Ten Hag to be sacked is that we felt we were part of a trilogy. And if trilogy has three things, 2 years of Ten Hag, 2 trophies, we were going to throw that all away for what? To start another project. This is year 3 for many of us with Ten Hag, but it's interesting that he has another 3 years as part of that contract from Ineos. But look, 2 trophies, disappointing in the league, disappointing football at times, but many, many, many challenges to face that I just do not expect any individual manager to have to deal with. And I think that the way that Ten Hag dealt with that last year on his own, you know, Murta disappeared, Arnold went as well, Ineos were too busy in the background building things. I think that the way that he built and stuck up with things and, you know, held his nerve and, you know, even you look at the way Lineker and Shearer spoke to him after winning the FA Cup, some of the, you know, some of the questions, some of the tweets from so-called journalists, it's been ridiculously bad for Ten Hag, but he, you know, he's stayed, and I think that's impressive for Ineos to see, you know, just what he's done. And, you know, on top of that, the Sancho saga, the Rashford Belfast thing, the Anthony stuff, the Greenwood stuff, the amount of injuries that happened, the takeover at Christmas, the refusal to buy players in January again. I think that Ten Hag has had a lot to deal with. And if you think about all those things happening again, if they did happen again, you know, if a player did go out on a night out and miss training, or a player did tweet and refuse to play, it wouldn't be the manager anymore that has to deal with that. They would be asked about it in press conferences, but you know it would be Dan Ashworth or Sir David Brailsford or Barada dealing with those things. And we've never had that structure before. So really, really happy that Erik ten Hag is going to stay as Manchester United manager. And I'm really happy that they've announced the contract. Get your comments in below. It's not just what I think. I mean, just tell me what you're thinking, because it is official now. I genuinely had people messaging me over the last couple of weeks who don't want Ten Hag to stay, saying until it's signed, I won't believe it. You know, there's still a chance. There's still a chance. And I suppose conspiracy theorists will always believe there's a chance. I never did. I think that when Ineos made that commitment that he was going to be staying and Ten Hag spoke about it, that he was always going to stay. It was just about the contract. But I think everything couldn't have gone, you know, things couldn't have gone much better, really, is what I would say. And I'm very, 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 very happy about it. I think that some of the bonuses as well, the length of the contract and the value of the contract means that for Ineos to sack Ten Hag, there's 2 things I want to say, first of all. First of all, do you think if we had a bad start to the season, they would sack him? I think anybody should be sacked as a manager if they have a really bad start to the season. I've got some quotes from Ten Hag for you as well. And of course, but this whole, they'll sack him after a few months and bring another manager in to appease the fans, I don't see any break clauses in that contract. It's a 3-year deal. He's on 9 million a year. If they sack him after 6 months, they've got to pay him probably close to 15-20 million quid. So my point is, it's a long-term commitment from Ineos. This is a long-term commitment. This is not a let's see how it goes. Bringing in people like Ruud and Rennie, that, you know, the infrastructure, buying people like De Ligt when that happens. These are Ten Hag choices that they're working with him on. And also, the fact that he's still got a big say on transfers is massive, not just for this manager, but for the future. I don't want a Man United manager to be given players or players taken away and you just go and coach, put the cones out. You want a manager with personality. You look at Liverpool with Klopp, you look at Pep at Arsenal, at Man City, you look at Arteta at Arsenal. You need a manager with personality at Man United. Man United is a club that, you know, you need the manager to be, you know, part of the hierarchy, but also part of the club, part of the fans. And you put a puppet in charge, we can see those strings, and we don't want that. Erik ten Hag, this is the story. Erik ten Hag has extended his contract as Manchester United men's first team manager until June 2026. I'm very pleased to have reached an agreement with the club to continue working together, said Erik. Looking back at the last 2 years, we can reflect with pride on 2 trophies and many examples of progression from where we were when I joined. However, we must also be clear that there's still lots of work ahead to reach the levels expected of Manchester United, which means challenging for English and European titles. In my discussions with the club, we have found complete unity in our vision for reaching those goals, and we are all strongly committed to making that journey together. Dan Ashworth, Manchester United sporting director. There we go, his first words really as a Manchester United sporting director. With 2 trophies in the past 2 seasons, Erik has reinforced his record as one of the most consistently successful coaches in European football. While the club's review of last season highlighted areas for improvement, it also reached a clear conclusion that Erik was the best partner for us to work with in driving up standards and outcomes. The group of players and staff have already shown they are capable of competing and winning at the top level. Now we need to do it more consistently. With our strengthened football leadership team now in place, we are looking forward to working hand in hand with Erik to achieve our shared ambitions for this football club. And I don't think you could put it any better. Erik ten Hag acknowledging 2 trophies in 2 difficult years, but lots of work for improvement and the need to work together to do that. And then the director of football saying, look, the review was needed. 2 trophies is good. There's a lot of room for improvement, and that improvement, we believe, will come from having the structure in place around the manager. And as I said at the start of the video, for the first time in 10 years, we are going to have a structure above our manager. Van Gaal didn't have it, Mourinho didn't have it, and they've spoken about it a lot since they left. Ollie didn't have it, to be fair. Moyes didn't have it. Rangnick certainly didn't have it. And Ten Hag hasn't had it for 2 years. Elite specialism of people who know what they're on about and are willing to, you know, have the tough conversations with the manager and the manager back. And look, it's not a guarantee for success, but it's an open goal that things will get better. We may not win league titles like we used to, but we will not be consistently yo-yoing up and down, because the reason that happened was because we were wasting money, making bad decisions, sacking managers every 3 years, allowing player power, buying bad players, giving bad wages, paying stupid transfer fees. All these things are going to stop because there's too many specialists in that club to allow it to happen. And that will therefore, I believe, lead to a future which is better. What will that future be? Can Ten Hag win a Premier League title for Man United? Can any manager win a title for Manchester United? It's very difficult to predict that at the moment. What I predict is improvement, stability and consistency, which will take us back to a position where I think we can look at it and probably go, what do we need to do to be the best in England again? Because at the moment, we've been miles off because we don't run the club properly. And finally, it looks like we're taking the path less trodden. Instead of sacking a manager and resetting, we've stuck with a manager. And that's exciting. Get your comments in. Make sure you smash a like on the video. This is big news confirmed. And I'll speak to you later.